The views and opinions expressed by Soft Bad Monkey are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of our associates or sponsors. Any content provided by our followers or authors are of their opinion, and are not intended to malign any nation, state, religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company or individual. You are encouraged to research any topic discussed on this platform in order to formulate your own opinions. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and should be considered comedy.
A little kinks and stuff within my hand, they start to twitch unnecessarily, involuntarily.
Is that from your psych meds?
No, I don't take no psych meds no more. I just smoke weed, man.
I smoke weed out. I'm the motherfucker that you read about.
Yeah, I stopped all the psych meds. I've been stopped that for years. I mean, I think I probably followed the doctor's orders for about a year or so after they prescribed them. Then I realized that this is not working.
Well, what the fuck, right? They give our guys fucking psych meds, right? And it absolutely consumes them. It takes all their energy, right?
Yeah.
And then your fucking dick quits working. Yeah. And then you don't want to leave your house. And the next thing you know, you're starting your fucking pistol.
Yeah.
However, the guys go smoke a little bit of fucking weed, talk to other guys that got some similar shit, and the next thing you know, they're in the gym.
Yeah. I mean, that's
what fucking happens.
That's a number one. That's a number one factor right there. That healthy living, that healthy mental stability is the gym. A lot of people kind of negate that.
Right.
You need to work those endorphins. You need to get that blood flowing.
Yeah.
It gives you that purpose. Also incorporates itself into your routine. Everybody needs that routine.
Right.
All those little things. Instead of just moping around or going to the doctor and begging for meds and all this stuff.
Feeling fucking sorry for yourself, thinking you should have did something or should have not done something or whatever the fuck.
I feel like we're at that point, as veterans right now. It's been so long since they're on after the
whatever.
Yeah, the ground zero for us,
And what the fuck does that even translate to in English, right? Yeah. Ground zero. Is that when the towers went down? Ground zero, the first time you were in fucking somebody's backyard?
Yeah, whatever traumatic experience, you attribute to your mental euphoria.
Your first case of fucking post-traumatic stress came from where? Yeah.
Exactly. So either way, it's been several years there on after. I'm sure we probably got the hang of, the do's and don'ts. I think I do. I think I do. Because I ride the wave. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to erase the depression. I'm not trying, because you can't get rid of it.
Well, dude, what the fuck? You told me this before, right? If you transfer some energy, right?
Yeah.
And you're thinking that those people don't deserve that attention, then you fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just...
No, it is. I mean, if you dwell on it all day, every day, that's something else. But realize, that's a big thing.
You can look at it esoterically like that.
Right.
Or you can just look at it sympathetically. You could look at it like, okay, these individuals, these formidable... individuals that went toe-to-toe with me, deserve a little recognition.
You're fucking right, they do.
They're fucking warriors, man. They stood up for what they believed in. Unfortunately, I was quicker to it.
Nah, I disagree. Not unfortunately. Unfortunately for them.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for them. Fortunately for me, I was quicker to it. But they still deserve some sort of acknowledgement.
No, you're damn right they do. I agree.
They were human souls, some sort of remembrance. However, on an esoteric level, it's that energy shit we're talking about. Energy cannot be destroyed. It just dissipates, and you're the one
transferred.
Yeah. And you're the one to, turn out these individuals' lights where you think that energy is going to go. I believe that you absorb that personally.
Oh, really? Like a Highlander thing?
Yeah,
there can be only one and shit?
I mean, there could be several. But,
well, dude.
I feel as if that's somewhat, the case. I feel like, the more people you reduce, I guess the wiser you get, the more... the more profound you get in your thought,
I fucking love that.
Yeah.
Whatever you believe. It's got nothing to do with me.
Exactly.
As long as you're cool and that shit, we're good to go. So we're back again. This is our fourth time being back, and we're gonna record whenever we record. And if you don't like it, don't fucking listen. I love the fact you got the soundboard back. That's cool.
Yeah. I love my soundboard, man. I miss that thing.
Dude, hey, fucking rocking about the CTIL and control of the narrative and using mercenaries to do that shit. That's some interesting stuff.
Yeah, man. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of what we want to really talk about today, let's let's do something for the audience. Some of our listeners.
We can give him a hand release?
Yeah, that too.
Okay. What do you mean? What do you want to do?
A virtual hand release.
Harold, get the baby oil out. We're gonna
Get the CLP out.
That's right. put some sand in it. We want to make it painful and pleasurable.
I love it.
Right.
Let's give these folks a little update of what we've been up to. Our little, I guess, hiatus and what we've been doing in between the time frame.
Motherfucker, I've been doing the same shit. You're the one who's fucking bouncing back and forth and building tattoo studios and doing like James Bond shit. Not me.
Well, you wrote a book.
Oh yeah, I did.
Come on now.
No, actually, I wrote 4 of them, and I'm going to do what I can to throw a different genre out there for individuals who may or may not have participated in kinetic activity, and just keep everything fiction. That way, don't have to worry about court-martial or anything under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, and just say it's all fiction. You don't like it? Fucking so what?
But is it all fiction, or
Of
you're
course it
just
is.
saying it's all fiction?
Of course it is.
There
It's
you
all
go.
fiction.
I just want to clarify. It's all bullshit.
That's right. It's fucking all lies. All of it. All of it's lies.
That's actually the
Every
subtitle.
single fucking thing.
Subtitle
that's
of
the
the
title, motherfucker. It's it.
It's all fucking lies.
It's fucking all lies. And the funny thing is, right now, your brain is absorbing so many trillions of pieces of information. So many trillions, right? And depending on your intelligence, right? Mm-hmm. The life that you've experienced up until this point, and your use and recognition of whatever language we're speaking, you and I and Harold could be having 3 completely different experiences, right?
Yes.
So who's to say what is true and what is not? Who's to say what's accurate and what is not? Because there's entirely too many factors.
Correct.
Right. So
and also a factor that no one ever has a grasp on is time. What might have been true for you in the past might not be true for you now. A lot of people don't understand that time is a huge factor that no one equate for.
Right. I can no longer bench press 295 pounds. I just can't. There was a time when I could. That time has passed.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
And there was a time where you had faith in your government.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I ever did.
No, I did. I was foolish.
Oh, no, dude, don't get me wrong.
I drank the Kool-Aid.
I thought we were passing out freedom and shit.
Yes,
And
exactly.
then what? Remember the fuckers in Iraq that got purple fingers and shit for voting? And then fucking, piles of purple fucking, piles of arms showed up with purple fingers on them and shit. You're like, wait a minute, how'd that happen?
I was out there handing out soccer balls.
Dude. And fucking cases of water and all that other horse shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, here, kids, we're good to go. No, go vote. Fucking dip your fingers in there. They won't cut your arm off.
And, so much has come out since then, that's like the ulterior motive of the government to being in Iraq and being, in Afghanistan.
Fossil fuel and the fucking solid price of opium per kilo. And the grade of opium per kilo. Not for the fucking people, for Pfizer and whatever other fucking drug giant. Don't pretend.
And also artifacts.
Oh.
Yeah. Artifacts from Mesopotamian, Babylonian era.
Is that the shit to go back in time? Or
well, yeah, you've heard of that stuff, huh?
The time travel shit.
Yeah, time travel shit.
Is that what it is?
Well,
like some fucking...
apparently there's this conspiracy going around that the government was actively looking for these scrolls that were produced by the Anunnaki.
Right.
And these scrolls were said to have vital information on them as to how to restart a new civilization after the cataclysm.
Right. So when was the cataclysm?
They say about 12,000 years ago, 11,000 years ago, the Younger Dryas era. They said something occurred where, sea levels rose. There must have been a solar flare. There's a bunch of things that just, basically flooded the world and changed the face of the planet as we know it.
Right.
Or to what we know it as, should I say.
Cool.
But anyway, so apparently, that's one thing. Also, different artifacts, concerning Gilgamesh and all that other stuff. We're talking about the oldest story ever in civilization, which is a story of Gilgamesh, and then Siasadra, which is another name for Noah, things of that nature. This is the first annotation of the history or the story of human beings. And I believe that there is a lot of information within these stories that I think we're just ignoring altogether that might potentially give us more of a scope as to what, our purpose here and what we're doing. And when the way I think about that is because it's the purest form. So it's like it's directly coming out the faucet if this was equated to a faucet of water. Instead of waiting till it runs down the rest of the mountain and gets dirty and contaminated, and that's where we're drinking from, the bottom of the pool, instead of right from the faucet.
We're getting the shit from the glacier.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the way I see this information as, considering it's the oldest account of our human history. I kind of give it a little bit more of that credence, that weight.
I would also.
Right?
But are you trying to say that the government would be controlling the narrative? Really?
No,
seriously, dude. And what people, fail to recognize or acknowledge is they exterminated the buffalo, right?
Yeah.
Do you understand what a fucking tremendous undertaking that was?
Yeah.
They exterminated the buffalo so the indigenous people would not have a food source. That was the only reason they did it. That's the only fucking reason.
Manifest destiny.
To kill all the fucking natives.
Exactly.
Right? And we're pretending like we're these good guys. Shut up, dude. Shut up.
And there's
Shut
also
the fuck up.
the cases with the blankets laden with smallpox.
Yeah, just terrible shit.
All this stuff is annotated, whether you want to believe it or not. I mean,
dude, the only thing that
cognitive dissonance is a motherfucker.
Dude, only thing you have to believe is gravity. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything else, fucking it's up to you. We don't care.
Exactly.
Whether or not you choose to read the facts and then determine on your own, that's your problem.
But to that, I will say I feel as if there's a significant amount of individuals that's starting to open their eyes and see the government's efforts into dissuading us from certain, popular thoughts and theories. And more so, that's noticeable in recruitment numbers. If you think about it.
Dude, shut the fuck up. We're fucking military. It's not even a military. All they're doing is pushing the fucking transgender agenda. What does that even translate to?
TikTok military.
Dude, what the fuck?
That's all it is. I mean, I'm disgusted at the amount of TikTok videos being produced by our armed forces, our armed services. And these are like officers, leading the charge on these dances and stuff. It's freaking retarded, man.
Leading the charge on the
dances.
Leading the charge
on the dances. That's they're trying to appeal to a younger generation. To me, they're trying to conform to what is wrong with this society. They're trying to conform and appeal to that younger generation that is just completely worthless. Dude, I'm going to say it. I'm sorry if I offend anybody.
No, shut up. You're not fucking sorry. You're offended. Good. Yeah. Tie something around your neck. You can be fucking super offended. Who the fuck are you to think you're going to go through your entire life and everything everybody says you're going to be fucking happy to hear?
Feelings,
like you show up to the fucking world, right? And the next thing they do is give you a puppy and a fucking blowjob. Shut up. You're offended. Fuck you. Don't care.
Exactly.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, bro. You say whatever the fuck you want. I love you anyway. I might not agree. We'll talk about it. However,
well, that's called being an adult, having discussions of ideas and whatever.
Yeah, you're offended, and we're supposed to give a hot bucket of fuck. Shut the fuck up with that shit. That fucking woke nonsense.
All that does is waste time getting to the point. You know what I mean? But in lieu of this actual thing that's happening within the military, our ranks are starting to dwindle. People are not re-enlisting. People are not signing up. The military is starting to give out like crazy $50,000 sign-on bonuses. Where the fuck was that shit when I was signing up, man?
Dude, I wanted to fucking break shit and murder motherfuckers, drink beer, and fuck fat chicks. That's it.
Even for my re-enlistment, I think I got like a $4,000 bonus. That shit was stupid. A joke. What the fuck was that?
Dude, I'm going to blow this on tonight. I'm going to blow this in tonight. What the fuck?
I'm sorry, man, but that shit right there, ooh.
Dude, 50 G's, come on.
Why you offering me 50 G's for?
Yeah, what's up?
What you want me to do, baby?
Yeah, that's right. We want you to take this fucking shot. Just bend over. You'll
be fine. That's a part of it, too.
Push like you're pooping. It'll be okay. That's an anal sex reference, Harold, if you can get that.
And so now they also dropped the requirement for having the vaccine.
Oh, really? No way.
No.
Shut
I
up.
don't believe it.
They dropped the requirement like it was all fucking bullshit from the beginning.
Man.
Right? Like that one president back there gave more power and more money and did more for the fucking middle class than anyone ever. So the elitist filth wanted it all back. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
So I have this interesting clip. There's this naval doctor, a captain, discussing the statistical increases of different heart-related, diseases that are affecting a lot of, specifically pilots, so helo pilots and fixed-wing pilots. But check this guy out. Listen to what he's saying. And, with reason,
right.
I would see why they're not requiring people to have this vaccine or take this vaccine to join anymore, because it's not fucking working. And if anything, it's more detrimental. Yeah.
You could get some weird heart disease that you didn't have before if you get vaccinated, so don't do it.
Exactly. Check these numbers out. They're pretty crazy.
So in July, Undersecretary Cisneros acknowledged the DMET data, the database working properly, and also acknowledged things such as myocarditis rising 151%. So what I did, I went in today, I'm doing the same thing, 5-year average. However, I'm comparing it to 2022, and I only am using fixed wing pilots and helicopter pilots, active duty. So we get hypertensive disease, 36%, ischemic heart disease, 69%, pulmonary heart disease, 62%, heart failure, 973%.
Holy fuck.
Other forms of heart disease, 63%. Cardiomyopathy, 152.
151%.
973% increase. Heart failure.
973%
increase
ridiculous.
In heart failure. Heart motherfucking failure. People are like, what are you going to do if the shot becomes mandatory? Well, same thing I do when any motherfucker tries to stab me. It's going to get loud, and it's going to get weird.
Ridiculous.
Dude.
Ridiculous.
Dude.
It's almost infuriating to continue to see these.
Almost infuriating.
Almost. You get used to it, get numb to it after a while. But it's almost infuriating to me to see these pharmaceutical companies constantly advertising on these, digital platforms like Hulu and stuff like that. I mean, every commercial is a commercial about some sort of drug, more so, the jab, to continue something that is already on record as being more detrimental than it is useful.
Right.
And it's still the agenda. What are we doing here?
It's population control. Come on.
Exactly.
Always has been.
Discuss this before.
Dude, and we got fucking Bill Gates on video saying the easiest way to control the population is through a vaccine. And,
exactly.
Well, and not only that, we have the current regime, their offspring on video, fucking smoking crack with an unregistered pistol and a fucking prostitute's here, but we can't convict. Shut up.
Yeah.
Fucking, or not only that, a giant sack of cocaine found in the fucking White House, and they don't know whose it is. After that dude was fucking sleeping in that room. Yeah. Shut up. What the fuck?
What more do we need?
Jesus
What more do we need? Now we got checks being cut. Wow. We got audio of discussion, phone call discussions.
In business with China,
business.
Fucking dude, that was called treason at one point in time.
Yeah, exactly.
What's it called now? I don't know. Don't say it too loud. Fucking Bill and fucking Hill will be at your house.
It seems to be the tone of this White House and also the Obama administration. The tone of which I'm speaking of is a complete contradiction to our Constitution.
Right, and you're watching something while they're telling you it's not going on. The example of gaslighting, right? It's fucking all lies, all of it.
I think before we step into the main topic of this podcast, I would like to reiterate that a majority, matter of fact, every single office that holds some sort of authority over the American public takes an oath of office. And the oath of office in every situation includes, and is the priority, actually, it's the first thing mentioned, the willingness to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America.
Amen.
All right? This is the Senate's oath of office. I do solemnly swear, which is their name, whatever, that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, so on and so forth. That is the Senate. Now, let's go down to something as simple as a municipality's law enforcement, like NYPD. NYPD has an actual form that the officers sign, which is reaffirming their oath. I do solemnly swear, enter officer's name there, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of blah, 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 fill in the blanks. In case you notice, the Constitution is number one, then the Constitution of the state. It is in that order. It is in that priority. But yet, we still have so many blatant examples of this contradiction by these individuals that have sworn this oath. And it goes back to what you said. I remember there was a time where this was called treason.
Right? And you get executed for that shit. You know what that means, right? They transfer your fucking energy elsewhere to the not here place.
Exactly.
Yeah. But no, we're too worried about the transgender agenda and fucking offending people and all that other shit. You know, the stuff that actually made this once great nation the only fucking fragile experiment in freedom is being pulled away all day, every day. And nobody does anything about it. They pretend it's not happening. Oh, the Constitution will defend us. Not if you don't defend it, motherfucker. What are you thinking?
Exactly. Then, or if you spend every waking moment of your service trying to circumvent it. I think that's a point that we're gonna head to here.
That's what's happening currently.
They're circumventing their oath of office. So the first thing I want to talk about is a program called the Hemisphere Project. So the Hemisphere Project has been running consistently since 1987. AT&T has gone into agreement with the United States government via a third party to release the information of every one of their customers' phone call when it comes to basically the metadata, the time, the location. All this has been released and it's, should I say, accessible to any agency via simple request. But there's a third party involved here. And so the way they circumvented this, because this is a contradiction to the Constitution's First Amendment, also, a direct violation of our privacy, the Privacy Act. And the way they circumvent this is through a grant. And I believe the grant comes from Houston. Give me 1 second.
Anytime they want information, they just get it. Or they say the fucking Patriot Act so they can get anything they want.
Well, that's too. But so this came to light after a New York Times article reported back in 2013. So, we've known about this since 2013.
Forever. Right.
Yeah, for a long enough time that they're circumventing it. They're funding a program called the Houston High Intensity Drug Trafficking Area. Houston High Intensity Drug Trafficking Area is basically handing out these grants to AT&T. And that's how AT&T gets paid, millions of dollars, to the tune of about 4 billion phone calls a day. They have access to 4 billion phone calls daily. So this is trillions and trillions of phone calls. And it's not just limited to the AT&T network. So obviously, if I have AT&T and you have Sprint or Verizon and I call you, you're automatically patched into the AT&T network. So that nullifies whatever, privacy agreements you have with Sprint or whatever, because now you're on the AT&T network and there is access to your conversation as well in your phone data. So, this is basically a lot bigger than people understand. It supersedes the reach of AT&T itself, and then go ahead and the spider webs into the other networks as well, as long as they're crossing, the AT&T line.
Right, and the population ain't going to do anything about it because nobody cares, because everybody's well-fed and warm and all that other shit. So nobody cares, right? However, if you're fucking stupid enough to be saying a bunch of information over an open line, then you deserve it. Whatever happens, you deserve it.
Of course.
Right. But no, I agree with you. Anytime that they are consuming our rights, they should be penalized.
Yeah. And we're talking about basically warrantless surveillance.
Yes, of course.
It's just the data is being collected. And they're making it seem as if it's innocent, but it's not.
No. Fuck
And
no.
this has been happening since 1987.
It's been happening since we were putting up fucking smoke signals to alert the other tribe that we were hunting.
And how do they get around the violations of the Constitution and the First Amendment? They go through third parties. They go to individuals that have not sworn oaths, individuals that were within the civilian diaspora. You know what I'm saying? So these individuals are capitalists, and that's who they're basically releasing all this information to, or allowing them to penetrate through all this information in order to get what they want. And so more recently, the State Department and Homeland Security have been caught red-handed, should I say, through Freedom of Information Acts,
Right.
in dabbling in similar practices when it comes to collecting a ton of, metadata from, different online and, tech agencies like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, things of that nature.
And spreading misinformation.
Exactly. So they are actively also dissuading
Yeah.
and trying to
Control the narrative.
present a narrative exactly that is more advantageous to them. The State Department of Homeland Security outsourced a program to monitor and censor online speech and content through Stanford University. That's the scapegoat right there, Stanford University.
Yep.
Known as the Election Integrity Partnership. It's funny that
Even
they
though they
needed,
just stole one.
yeah.
election
Well,
integrity.
this was in light of that 2016 election
Right.
between Hillary Clinton and Trump. So because Hillary lost while Obama was still in the White House, this program was initiated. And so known as the Election Integrity Partnership, the program went into effect just before the 2020 election. So this, who lost the 2020 election? Trump.
Right.
Who won it? Biden. By
No. They stole it.
Well, yes, and to my point, there's enough things alluding to that being true, just like the fact I can't sit here and acknowledge that Biden got more or garnered more votes and support than
Anyone
Obama
ever.
did or JFK, two
Or
of the most
anyone
loved
ever.
Democratic presidential candidates in our history. You're saying a man that is lackluster, a known liar, just unintelligent. He's a criminal. You're talking about this man has gotten more love than JFK and Obama. Even though I'm reserved about Obama, I definitely 100% believe Obama was an agent of intelligence. I have my deals there of, if you guys want to go off on a tangent, just Google Barry Soetoro and Lolo Soetoro and enjoy that. Go down that path. That is Obama's actual name is Barry Soetoro. His stepfather is Lolo Soetoro, and Lolo Soetoro was a CIA asset as well, and also known to disrupt, foreign governments. Anyway,
Oops.
yeah. Hey, it's all information you could find. I'm not really dropping any
dude.
bombs here. It's just
Fucking throw that shit down.
yeah. So not to be confused with solely the Twitter files. This program, the Twitter files is what stemmed from this program. So it's not just Twitter. You're talking about Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all this stuff. So the Twitter files, this is where it really it was a breadcrumb from this program, this initiative. All right, this was discovered through the House Judiciary Committee's weaponization of the government investigation led by Jim Jordan. All right, and so they uncovered emails from the Department of Homeland Security's cyber infrastructure security agency called CISA, CISA. It shows that CISA began this project called the Election Integrity Partnership, EIP, with Stanford. And then so the agency, the way it would work is the agency, the EIP, would submit misinformation reports, which is basically if someone was speaking against their narrative, the government's narrative. And around this time, we were dealing with Pizzagate and all this other stuff.
Which just turned out to be true, by the way.
Yeah, there's a lot of... So this is what got all that suppressed. So they would submit these reports, and then the researchers at Stanford Internet Observatory which is funny. The Internet Observatory.
That's right. You imagine like a big telescope.
All that means to me is a collection point for all the data
Every
being ran on social
goddamn
media.
thing, right.
That to me in and of itself is infringing on our constitutional rights. You know what I'm saying? How can one point within the U.S., a physical location, Stanford University, be the hub for all this information to be filtered through? All right, and that's what I'm understanding it to be, because they have access to it. They have access to dismantle it. They got access to all that. So these individuals, they will analyze the content that was flagged, and the misinformation would be compiled onto these reports, and these reports will be sent to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram with specific instructions on how to remove the content, all right, and how to deter conversations to the content. So these were called gyro tickets. So that is the term that this agency, the EIP, used for these reports. They would submit these gyro tickets to these agencies.
And we're not talking about a tasty Greek sandwich.
And interestingly enough, these gyro tickets were considered secret. They're classified. Oh. So the only individuals that were able to access these gyro tickets were individuals participating in the program. And then they couldn't release it because then they would go against their information acts,
Right. Because it's sensitive information. You can't release it.
So once this was discovered through that investigation that Jim Jordan headed, Stanford received several subpoenas to release this information. They refused to cooperate, obviously, until they were in threat of contempt of court. So then they released the information. That's how we got this, basically, in a nutshell. So the program that initiated this situation with CISA and EIP and all that actually was initiated during the Obama White House. The FBI, in cahoots with DHS and other tech corps, these are the same players we're talking about. Department of Homeland Security, FBI, and you also see DOJ.
Right.
And several of these accusations.
Well, DOJ and also the fucking DOD just makes it dangerous. Real fucking dangerous.
Kick that.
What? What are you doing? What are you doing, Harold? God damn it. No, anyway. We have been under attack from the fucking very beginning. And then when conservatives started saying anything or doing any research, they start throttling bandwidth. And that's what you're talking about, right?
Exactly.
All these giant organizations with all this money backed by the government and whatever intelligence organization saying, the truth is bad. Don't believe the truth. So we're not going to let it out.
So the program that was initiated is called, there's a lot of these acronyms. It's called Cyber Threat Intelligence League. The Cyber Threat Intelligence League. And I could imagine someone crossing their fingers as they're naming it the Cyber Threat Intelligence League.
That's give us $1 billion. I like my
so nefarious, yes.
Yeah.
So via whistleblower reports, this was leaked. The CTIL is essentially the foundation for the CISA and the whole gyro ticket findings and all that stuff. So this is also to be understood as a joint U.S.-UK partnership venture. And the reason being is because the head of this program was a British cyber intelligence agent. And this female is a lady. She was the head of this program, and she was also, due to the whistleblower stating, was in the White House when the affirmation for this program. She was in the office.
When they cleared it hot.
Where they cleared it hot, they cleared it to go. She was directed to verbally by the White House staff to do whatever she can, whatever it takes to dissuade this new narrative of
government, whatever they wanted to suppress,
government treachery.
Knock this down, knock that down. I'm sure there was a laundry list of shit that they wanted removed, and I'm sure. How long have we been up? We weren't back then. No. We've been up, 5 years?
We were prior to COVID. We were on.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and then we went into
fucking
COVID.
warned everybody about COVID months before.
So, it's important you say that. I want to say that I know we were personally affected by this.
Yeah.
Because our numbers prior to COVID were,
significant.
Significant. Not to boast or brag, but, we had thousands of listens on Spotify, on
all that shit.
Apple iTunes, all that stuff. Then the pandemic happened. And then that's when out
I
of
know.
nowhere,
I believe it's the pandemic.
the pandemic, out of nowhere, this information started coming out as far as the wrongdoings of the government and certain actors and players within the government. And as we started to regurgitate this information because it made sense to us, and we connected the dots, and it made more sense than what was being given to us as far as the excuses and the agendas. We started noticing our bandwidth or our reach significantly dwindling more and more every day, to the point where it really discouraged us. It discouraged me. I can't speak for you, Steve, but it discouraged me from even continuing to preach about it, talk about it, do research about it. Because it gets to a certain point where you reach a ceiling, whatever's out there already, and no one's listening to it. So
it's kind of like now.
Yeah. Well, I feel people are starting to come around now because
finally.
it's adamant. It's relentless.
973% increase in motherfucking heart failure.
Yeah.
What?
And this is just amongst a small group of individuals within the military.
Shut the fuck up.
Ain't nobody else talking about that.
Right.
Mitch Aguiar, our friend.
Yeah.
Massive Industries. He went from having a tremendous amount of followers on Instagram to being shadow banned and having to disband and restart his Instagram account probably at least 3 times.
Yeah, easily.
Because he was advocate.
Right.
He was an advocate of what's happening and an advocate of us and taking it to them.
No, it's wrong.
So I feel that happened to a lot of I don't want to boil us into one category, but I'm just going to say, for lack of a better term, conservative outlets or conservative podcasts, or the individuals that are speaking on or speaking from a place of the Constitution.
Right.
Our rights, our opinions. That's what we based everything off of. Our service was based on that. We swore an oath to the Constitution as well. Like I said, I want to reiterate, everyone that is in some form of authority or office has to swear an oath to the Constitution. So it's something we took very seriously, and just to turn around and find out that
something we take seriously.
It's something we take very seriously still to this day. Albeit, individuals trying to circumvent it, that are trusted to do otherwise.
And let's be clear on conservative, right? We're fiscally conservative. What's that translate to? That translates to you can do whatever the fuck you want. I'm not paying for it, right? Whoever you're attracted to, whoever you're voting for, whoever you're praying to, ain't none of my business. However, you hurt somebody, that's a different deal. You start thinking a 6-year-old should decide whether or not he's got a penis or not, that's a different deal. You want to change your sex and we should pay for it, and then after you decide that you're a fucking idiot, you want to change back and all that other shit, we're not going to fucking pay for it, right? That's what we're talking about.
Seems so logical.
Right, exactly right. It's not my responsibility that you're fucking fat and stupid. You want to be fat and stupid, go ahead, but I'm not paying for it. I'm not paying for your weed. I'm not paying for your fucking chocolate donuts. I'm not paying for you to live in your grandma's fucking basement. I'm not doing it. That's what we're talking about, conservative. We're not talking about individual rights. Everybody has a right to do whatever the fuck they want until they negatively impact someone else with fucking physical violence, or they're impeding on their fucking personal or their private property or something like that. However, conservative, we're not trying to limit anyone's bandwidth. You can do whatever the fuck you want to. However, don't think that we have to fucking agree with you, because we don't. And anytime I have extreme fucking demand resistance. Extreme. Somebody tells me to do something, fuck you. Just fuck you. Don't care what it is. You ask me to help you, I'll do any fucking thing. Yeah. But you tell me I got to do something, you got to go fuck yourself.
Well, we come from a school where respect is earned, not given.
Exactly.
So if you want me to have reverence for you, there must have been something there where the reverence was earned.
Right, exactly right. But just to think we're going to blanket fucking do whatever you say, motherfucker, you know where you're at?
You know who you're talking to.
Right.
We've been trained to question everything.
Exactly.
So back to these individual players here, this organization, CTIL. The agents, these contractors that they will hire, were called anti-disinformation agents.
But they were spreading disinformation.
But they're the ones who were. Yeah. It's so ironic. Their title was anti-disinformation agents.
Right.
And these individuals would be trained by the Department of Justice on how to utilize burner phones and false email accounts to initiate these these conversations and dissuade individuals from continuing on with this energy.
Well, didn't they leak? They leaked the training video, didn't they?
Yes,
Somebody
they
leaked the
did.
training video.
Yep. So this is one of the training videos here. So the manual that came from the Department of Justice and handed over to these individuals. I just want to say that before we play this audio. They have a manual called the Big Book of Disinformation Response. You believe that?
Yeah.
The Big Book of
I do.
Disinformation.
I absolutely believe it.
Oh, my Lord.
Basically, we're using many of the same techniques as the bad guys, but we're doing it in a good way. We're helping people to understand the reality of complex situations. We are helping them to avoid confusion, and we are helping to make simple, repeatable, hopefully viral concepts that can saturate the information space in the same way bad guys do.
Saturate, right? Viral. So what they're saying is we want our false information to saturate the space and go viral, right? So what they did, they throttled all the conservatives who are like saying, hey, don't do this shit, you're going to get sick. But, boom, here, listen to this horse shit.
Here's another audio leak from the videos, the training videos. So this one's a little bit more disturbing to me.
The people that do it overseas are typically the CIA and the NSA and the Department of Defense. But again, I've already talked about that. Intel collection agencies are not legally allowed to do those things inside the United States. Americans have a healthy distrust of their government, and it just wouldn't look good. No. But we need to help them out by deciding, what kind of things can we do proactively? Yes, education's great for the kids that are in school now, but what do we do with?
I just want to pause there. Did you hear what he said?
We want to help them out.
He said, yes. So they want to help. They want to persuade us to think the right things.
Right. They want to help us out with our fucking train of thought.
Despite however old we are, however our education level is, our experience level, whatever our path in life is, like we cannot be trusted to put two and two together. So we must be told what the equation is.
We're gonna help you out with your process.
Also, what's disturbing here? They said, this he just recently said. He says, yeah, education is all good and all because we're doing it already.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was inferring that he's doing it already. So they are already effectively in the schools.
Right.
Changing curriculum so that this mentality could be spread from an educational point of view.
Right. And it is being spread. It probably has been since the 60s. Or maybe earlier.
Their government, and it just wouldn't look good. But we need to help them out by deciding, what kind of things can we do proactively? Yes, education's great for the kids that are in school now, but what do we do with John and Jane Q. Citizen that actually, watch Fox News and believe pandemic? What do we do with those guys?
Bam. That's right.
What do we do with those guys? Right. What do we do with people having conversations amongst themselves, exchanging ideas and information, and coming and drawing their own conclusions? What do we do with them?
Right. How do we convince them that we're right and they're wrong and to fucking get the shot and shut the fuck up? Exactly. You can't, because fuck you.
So you see what I'm saying? They're using these third-party agencies, these contractors, these
circumvent.
individuals that have never sworn any type of oath to our Constitution, to our nation, to circumvent that very thing.
I would offer that if we could do a background check on the contractors, see which one of them actually were former military, law enforcement, whatever. Anyone who at one point in time had to swear the oath, if we could go back and prosecute them, that'd be ideal.
That would be super ideal.
Yeah.
And charge these agencies criminally.
Dude.
But
that's the only way it'll stop.
But the buck, exactly, because you have to put fear into the people that they're using as the executioners.
Right.
So that whenever they're approached or solicited again, they would say, no fucking way. Because you're the only guys that are walking away with immunity, because nothing's going to happen to these agencies, the DOJ, the FBI.
They're too big.
The Department of Homeland Security. They're
too powerful.
They're too powerful. They're too powerful. And at the end of the day, they're going to do exactly what they did with Hunter Biden. Stall whatever inquiry process is undergoing,
right,
to the point where it passes statute of limitations for any one of their individuals.
Exactly right.
You know, they know how to play the game. This is chess, not checkers.
It's a legal tactic. You're
Exactly.
absolutely right, and they're doing it right now.
Yeah.
With every fucking thing that's going on, all of it.
I mean, we're setting precedents when it comes to prosecuting presidents, United States presidents, and raiding their homes and their living spaces and stuff like that. Like, we're setting precedents in that. Why don't we set precedents in actually going after and persecuting people that are being traitors?
I wish I had an answer, but it's like the lunatics are finally running the asylum.
You know what it is it's starting to be more apparent now more than ever that we have been bought.
Oh yeah. Wait. With that, I need to take a break and coming back on bot. And you're not talking about China, are you?
I'm talking about more than that. We're talking about the World Economic Forum, those individual players, the Rothschilds, the Vanderbilts, all those legacy families. We're talking about those individuals that have maintained authority and power
since the beginning of time.
Through economy, through financial, piracy.
Stranglehold.
Exactly. That these are the individuals that are dictating to governments how to govern.
Right.
In order to accomplish their one world government agenda.
Exactly.
Go
Pause it. No, exactly right. I got so good at fucking jerking off and switching hands, I could gain a stroke. I'm telling you. Now, dude, at 53, it's like, come on. What the fuck?
Oh, man.
And I got fucking fat old secretary's disease, too. Carpal tunnel. Jesus Christ. I did everything, motherfucker. Everything. Every fucking thing you can do to not live this long. Except suck start my pistol, right? Fucking drank everything you can drink. Fucking snorted my weight in cocaine. All that fucking shit. Volunteered for every fucking stupid fucking thing you can volunteer for. And fucking here I am. God damn it, Harold. Fucking carpal tunnel syndrome. Had to fucking zip up my fucking trousers with my other fucking hand. Dude, it's fucking bullshit. Why aren't the sound waves going?
They're going.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Just
All right,
like
anyway, China bought us.
Well, not
Totally
just China.
bought us, right.
So
World Economic Forum, right?
I have a feeling they're all in cahoots.
No, for
You know,
sure.
all
That
of these
Klaus
world leaders, yes.
motherfucker.
All these world leaders are in cahoots. I have a theory as well, a working theory that a lot of these individuals come from these specific families.
Right? What are they?
Or these specific lineages.
Right.
Just one of the most aforementioned would be Rothschilds.
Right. And Rockefeller.
And the Rockefellers, which still have traces to the Rothschilds and the Vanderbilts as well. They all intermarry. And then a lot of these older, houses, like House of Luxembourg and all that bullshit.
What was that one where they're having like a family dinner and somebody's fucking complaining about them to marry their cousin and shit, and like one of the heads of the family is like, fucking shut up.
That's the Rothschilds.
Yeah. He like totally tells him, shut up.
Yeah.
You're marrying your fucking cousin. We don't care. You fuck whoever you want to. However, you're marrying your cousin. You're going to reproduce.
Yep.
Like and not only that, the Down syndrome increases, hemophilia, all type of wacky diseases, but they still do it.
Yeah, a lot of those hereditary traits get passed on. And the Medicis did it as well. They were a big financial family.
In
bank
Italy,
institution.
and a pope. He was a pope also.
And if you notice, I'm just gonna say it. It's very unpopular. We might get flagged on YouTube for this and all that. And because there is an initiative. Once we already discussed all these warrantless surveillance programs that are encroaching on our personal conversations within the social space, social internet, this is an agenda. This is a directive. So what I'm about to say goes completely against the directive, but it is an observation of mine.
Say it, brother. Say it.
I am not saying all Israelites or Jewish individuals are in cahoots with this nefarious one world order plan. I'm not saying that all of them are. There's a lot of innocent, regular, everyday people within these demographics, just like there are a lot of innocent, everyday people within these agencies, like the Department of Homeland Security. We have friends there. We have friends in the, every three-letter agency.
Every goddamn thing you can imagine, we got friends
because
there.
we're veterans, and that's who fills these ranks. You have to understand that. So I am not gonna go and talk shit about someone I know personally, which leads me to something you said that was very profound to me when we first met. being racist is lazy. If
Yeah.
you want to hate somebody, just get to know them.
Yeah.
There's plenty of things you can find to hate about someone if you just get to know them.
I stole that from Dennis Miller, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah. No, seriously, racism
It's
is lazy.
genius because at the end
he's
of the
a
day,
smart
if you
cat.
get to know somebody, that's just going to take down your defenses, and you're going to wind up, warming up to them and getting to sympathize with them and empathize with them, know them, and all that. So that's that. But my point is, that obviously, we're not talking about all, as in the whole. But the individuals at the very highest echelons of these demographics of these agencies,
Everywhere, actually.
they have bonded together through authority, influence, and financial resources, and they have taken it upon themselves to bestow this godly-like authority in which they have the right to alter the face of our social, our social infrastructure, our existence. Yeah, these individuals are all a part of that one world government initiative, that whole, what do you call it, New World Order. And all of these individuals, a majority of them are dual citizenships with Israel, are of Jewish descent. Ashkenazi specifically.
Who's that?
Kraus, whatever.
Klaus, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, Klaus is one. You have Jeff Bezos. He's another. You have the kid from Facebook. Zuckerberg. He's another one. These are all the same people of that particular demographic. All right. So these individuals, they get into their World Economic Forums, they get into their Bilderbergs, they get into all their little secret meetings that they hold around the world, and then they dictate to each other what are the initiatives to go ahead and set forth this chain of events that are eventually going to lead us to a one world government.
Well, you don't think they're following a plan that was fucking set way before them?
Yes, 100%, because you have to understand, it's like when we're going back to the dispute between Israel and Palestine as we speak.
Right.
Israel's claim is that Palestine was previously Israel. And Palestine's claim is that's cool and all, but the Ottomans came in and wiped the motherfuckers out, and we've been Palestine ever since. Cool. Got it. Based off of that, they both have a claim to the land. But in reality, what we're talking about is two different cultures sharing the same land, but none wants to cooperate with the other. It's either all or nothing is what we're talking about here. Palestine wants to obliterate Israel. Israel wants to obliterate Palestine. We're talking about innocent people. And when I say Israel and Palestine, I mean, once again, the upper echelons.
Right.
The higher elites. Those individuals that are actually pressing the buttons and pulling the strings. They're the ones who want this complete obliteration of the other. But the people on the ground, they just want to eat their hummus and dance.
Right.
But that's irrelevant to those that are pushing this initiative. Okay? So when we're talking about the Israelis specifically, they are at the beginning. Once again, we talked about that faucet with the stories of Gilgamesh. They're at the beginning a lot of these civilizations. Is the Judaish people, the Hebrews.
Right.
A lot of our oldest language comes from that Hebrew language. A lot of the the Aramaic and all that stuff is related to that one culture. So I acknowledge they are some of the oldest people on this planet. And they also have spread through sailing and stuff like that. The Phoenicians and the Canaanites. The Phoenicians were Jewish. They were Hebrew. The Canaanites, whatever, they're different classifications depending on what region you go to.
Different tribes.
But it's the same people. And then you have the 12 tribes of Judah, which
Right.
are the tribe of Dan, which is the individuals that migrated towards Europe. And, that's why you have Denmark, the tribe of Dan. You have the Danish, all that stuff. All that stuff is named off of the tribe of Dan.
Dude, check that shit out. Did you know fucking JD knew that?
Yeah, so the Vikings,
Goddamn.
the Vikings come from the tribe of Dan. They're the ones who wave the big sails with the red blood stripes down on them, and they're also known as the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians also wave those big blood stripe sails.
Right.
So they're all related. So these individuals have their legacies stem deeply into several different continents and lands.
They're ancestors. They're all
Exactly.
However, but also you look at Islam and you look at Judaism, and I'm not a
A
scholar.
lot of similarities.
A lot of similarities, but there's a lot of similarities in every creation myth, right? And whatever you believe is what you believe. It's not my business. I don't really care. However, we're talking about individuals that'll hold a grudge for thousands of years.
Thousands,
but they're the same people because they came from the same geographic region.
And interesting and love, like you say that just on that point, several Germanic individuals come from that tribe.
Right.
And that means they have their legacy is a Judaish legacy.
Right.
It's an Israeli legacy.
Right.
But these are individuals that initiated the Holocaust.
Right. But
it's almost a self-hatred kind of thing. Because you got Nazis that have Israeli bloodline.
Well, Hitler's mother was Jewish. But regardless of all that shit, right, we're talking about where the human population originated. So it's like
the cradle of civilization, correct?
Right, exactly. It's like the Earth as a human is finally developing cancer and it's consuming itself. No, I get it. However, this New World Organization or whatever they're calling themselves,
so
they will never stop.
Because what I'm saying is that they were raised and brought up into this esoteric kind of organization that has passed this lineage down through information to each of their their family members, their predecessors. I mean their ancestors. They've passed this information down, and now is where the rest of us are starting to get this information because of the freedom of information that is so accessible on the internet and through discussion and all that stuff. So we're starting to draw the conclusions that we're starting to see that this one group of individuals at a high level, not all, at a higher level, have been dictating to us terms of civilization across the world
since the beginning of time.
And they're doing it through financial, what do you call it? Piracy.
Right.
And they've been doing it for ages.
Well, forever. They've been doing it forever, right?
They've been doing it for ages.
And it's about time that the middle class fucking stand up.
So I want to play this one little video I saw.
Let's have it.
And this is someone that was whistleblowing, or should I say standing up at a, looks like some sort of a conference or whatever. And he's making this point that all the elite players have a blood
a connection,
obligation to the state of Israel.
Wow.
You need to stop.
Who's in control? Who was in charge of the CDC that was controlling and telling our government to shut down small businesses and what they recommend for the mandates of the vaccines and Pfizer and all? At the time when COVID was being enacted, I'm going to read off the staff of who was in charge of this CDC. The director of the CDC was Rochelle Walensky, dual citizenship with Israel. She's a Jew. Deputy director of the CDC, Ann Shawalchik, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. CDC chief of staff, Sherry Berger, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. CDC chief medical officer, Mitchell Wolf, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. CDC director of the Washington office. This is pertinent to the topic. We're talking about COVID, right? Yeah. This is pertinent to COVID. So, I love you, Jennifer. Please. So, director of the CDC of the Washington office, Jeff Resnick, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. COVID czar, Jeff Zaints, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. COVID senior advisor, Andy Slavitt, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. Assistant of Health Secretary for Human Services for our country, the Assistant of Health Secretary, Rachel Levine, transgender, dual citizenship.
Transgender, even. He had to throw that in there.
This is out of order.
That's right.
I don't accept
I'm going to
this.
beat you with my wiener that I don't have.
No. This is not true.
It's
true. It's true, but it's not true.
Right. And we're not saying that every Jewish person is what. We're not saying any person is any goddamn thing. We're just saying that,
there is a small
there's a threat.
Elite group
of motherfuckers,
an esoteric elite group that has exchanged influence and authority amongst its bloodline and its cronies to continue on its agenda to bring somehow this one world government to the feet of the state of Israel.
And also, they want us only smart enough to operate the machines. That's it. They want us to generate revenue for them. That's
Yes.
it.
Yes.
And that percentage of humans is so small. If we could ever realize who they are and where they were, it'd be quick to deal with. And the reality is, we don't do that shit because we have professional sports. Our homeless people are fat. We don't have to work for anything anymore. So people are like, hey, well, whatever. It's a fucking conspiracy theory, just like everything else until it's proven true.
And so that brings me to a couple of observations, right? There is some sort of disconnect between the Hasidic Jews and what they call the Zionists.
We're talking about the dudes in like the fucking tights and shit and the big hats and
Yeah.
they got their white sashes on with knots in it.
So there's a disconnect there where the Hasidic Jews are calling the Zionists not Jewish. They're calling them Nazis.
Wow.
So,
dude, that's some shit.
Yeah, and then let's be honest. That persuasion, that culture likes to use what is known as one of the biggest atrocities committed against them as a deterrent, a deflector, to basically take attention away from whatever misdoings or whatever. They use the Holocaust. So to me, it's a little ironic that the Hasidic Jews are calling the Zionists Nazis. But it's not when you look at the lineage that there's German Jewish individuals that were Nazis.
Oh, yeah.
And actually that whole region is of Jewish descent, is of Judaic descent.
They started in the same location. Come on.
Yes, they were migrated from the tribes of Dan. They were migrated to those areas.
Right.
So it's interesting that they're called the Hasidics are very esoteric.
They're not fucking around. Yeah.
They
take the shit serious.
They maintain their information, their teachings. Their rabbis they're very, very religious and historians as well.
Right.
So for them to just freely call these Zionists, these so-called Zionists, which to be a Zionist has nothing to do with the religion of Judah, or the religion Judaism and Israeli, whatever.
Right.
It has nothing to do with that. It is just a political ideology.
Right.
Zionism is basically the complete consumption of that area for the
every
Israeli,
goddamn thing.
The Israeli state.
And not only that,
every goddamn thing.
No, seriously, Islam and Judaism, they are out reproducing us approximately 10-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're having 10 kids, we're having 1 kid. So if we think
and also their infrastructure, their family infrastructure is set up for success.
Right.
With the bar mitzvahs and the let's just say for the Muslims it would be the coming over here and getting their family members work visas for their businesses and things of that nature. These people really do help their own cultures succeed and get that leg up. And it's a part of their it's who
they are.
It's who they are.
Their genetic makeup.
Exactly. That's why Jews give out loans to other Jews.
Right. They only do business with each other
with no interest rates.
Right, and it's all in cash.
Yeah.
And
genius.
Well, and they're also on several programs that are financed by the government, so it doesn't help us.
Well, and once again, they are the heads of these government agencies.
Right.
You have to understand, like we just, called off a lot of this stuff. To that point.
And we're not fucking anti-Jew or anti-Muslim, any of that shit.
Whatsoever.
It's the facts.
Everyone deserves to exist. I am going to state that right now.
Right.
If you're a homosexual, you're a transgender, you're
Jewish,
you want to. You're black,
we're
you're
just
Hispanic,
not paying for it.
You're a Zionist. I don't care. Everyone deserves to exist with their own opinion. You have free will. Whatever your God is gave us that. You can do whatever you want, but what you can't do is impose that shit on someone else, force someone else to go with your ideology through violence and force, which sounds pretty contradictory according to the history of the goddamn world, which brings me back to the main excuse of Israel going and trying to obliterate Palestine because Israel owned it prior to Palestine, even though Palestinians had it for over 400 years. Now, Israel says, before that, we had it, so we want it. Okay, but where do the American Indians stand in America now? They had it before America. Should we just abdicate our our government and give it over to American Indians now because we've proven they were here before us.
Way before.
Why are we supporting Ukraine financially and militarily when Russia owned Ukraine? And all Russia wants is to get Ukraine back. It's the same argument for Russia and Ukraine. It's the same argument for America and the American Indians. It's the same argument. It's the same argument as the Israelis. That's not an argument. That is not an argument. You want to turn back the hands of time at the expense of millions of lives. That's not a goddamn argument. The one argument that should exist on this planet is live and let fucking live. And find a way to do it in harmony.
And if you can't,
that is the reason for politics. A lot of these political, what do they call them, rhinos?
They call them
these individuals that are just warmongers, that are heavily invested in Raytheon and Lockheed Martin. I'm talking about politicians that are invested there. These rhinos, these whatever you call them.
They're Republican in name only.
Exactly.
Right. They vote against the Constitution.
Exactly.
Consistently.
These individuals are politicians. And the only way that we can live and let live is if our politicians actually really did exercise diplomacy outside of their own personal agendas.
Their own personal gain.
Their own personal gain and all that shit and relationships.
It's supposed to be public service, and it's not. It's turned into a occupation, and it's bullshit. That's why we're in so much trouble everywhere. And that's why they went after Trump so hard, because the first thing he said, his platform was drain the swamp.
So interesting that you bring that up about Trump. I have a note here. Jack Smith, special counsel for the DOJ, attained a sweeping subpoena on American citizens who engaged with Donald Trump's Twitter account.
That engaged with it.
Engaged with it.
So you sent him a tweet or whatever the fuck.
Correct.
Coming after you.
This stems from that whole meeting in 2016 with Obama, where he basically cleared hot for American citizens to be spied on and followed.
For every fucking thing.
So a search warrant was issued by Obama, an Obama-appointed judge in the D.C. federal court, demanded that Twitter hand over all the information of anyone who interacted with the president's account to the DOJ.
Anyone. Like fucking grandma who's saying you're doing a good job.
So this warrant was released and in effect from October 20th, 2020 to January 2021. Wow. All right. Anyone that liked, retweeted, tagged, replied, awesome. Here's another one, followed or unfollowed, blocked or unblocked. So whether you were pro-Trump or anti-Trump,
they're coming after you.
They were cataloging you.
Wow.
They were cataloging you and putting you in a category either pro or anti-Trump.
But they're also getting all your fucking tweets.
As well as IP addresses, my man.
Wow. So they got your house.
They got your house.
They got your fucking house because it's got your internet.
And this warrant also came with a non-disclosure order. So
holy
that
shit.
means if Twitter found this out, let's say when Elon Musk took over Twitter, and he discovered this, he could not tell Trump what was happening.
Motherfuckers.
So that's what was going on around that time frame. That's why he rebranded to X and everything.
Oh, wow.
He got away from all those freaking agreements and non-disclosure agreements.
Good for him.
Genius, man.
Fuck yeah.
Genius, man. So the releasing of this information to the individuals was opposed by the DOJ in black and white because they said that alerting President Trump would resort in a statutory cognizable harm. I don't even know what the fuck that is. That is some word salad shit.
A harm you can recognize,
and
right?
They said
Understand.
basically, they said basically because Trump was an active player, someone with influence and power, had he found out what they truly were doing to him, that would be a cognizable, that has to be acknowledged as a cognizable harm to the government.
Right. So the government, he could have proven legally
that the government
harmed him.
Was also going against his First Amendment.
Right, and there would have been a monetary fucking penalty for that because that dude ain't fucking around, and he's got enough money to put a team of attorneys on it, and you're gonna pay eventually.
Exactly, and once again, what we're looking at is these frivolous prosecutions of him. just to jam him up and keep him from the campaign trail.
Non-stop when he was in office.
We've literally turned into a banana republic.
It's bullshit.
Biden might as well wear military regalia, with freaking lapels and shit,
like
bells and whistles.
Like the dudes in fucking Argentina and shit.
Yeah, and fucking Nicaragua and shit. So there's
They
another
got a whole fucking uniform full of shit.
So to boot, I'm just gonna leave it here. This is my last point. There's another program that I like to highlight.
I'm almost done, man. I'm tired.
Yeah, I know this is so much shit.
It's just heavy. I'm like, holy fuck.
We're almost there. Last one, buddy. Hang in
All
there.
right, I'm hanging, bro. I'm sugaring up.
The federal air marshals.
Oh no.
It was just recently discovered that federal air marshals were running a program called Quiet Skies.
Okay.
Which was reported by a website called Judicial Watch. Anyway, the previous air marshal, Director Terrell D. Stevenson.
Right. Jew.
No, Terrell, come on.
I'm just kidding. What are you talking about? They got black Jews to just call blues.
Well, actually, there's black Jews in Africa, and they say that they're actually some of the oldest Hebrews.
Fucking, that's where Christianity originated, was in Africa. But no, Jesus is as Hell's Angels looking
the oldest Bible is in Ethiopia.
Right.
Also, some of the oldest tribes or lineage, bloodline,
right.
DNA-wise, that could be traced, it would trace back to Africa tribes.
All of it, they're lying.
Yeah.
It's fucking all lies, all of it.
So he was replaced in August, quietly replaced. This Terrell Stevenson was quietly replaced after a bombshell report of this program called Quiet Skies, where they're no longer having air marshals fly on U.S. flights, domestic flights, protecting us. They took them all off the plane,
right?
And they had them following January 6 visitors or participants.
They were let into the fucking.
Yes.
They were let in by the fucking the
and
DC
also
cops.
Individuals that didn't even show up to January 6th, but have communicated and tweeted and all this, any type of support for January 6th. The U.S. Marshals,
like the head of the Proud Boys, right? They're black dude who's supposedly running that white supremacist
This is what you're talking about here.
Yeah.
Exactly what you're talking about. Which he is an Afro-Cuban, by the way. He is not a white
he's a brown
supremacist.
dude.
He's an Afro-Cuban from Miami. I don't know if you ever seen them motherfuckers, but they're the least racist motherfuckers there is. Anyway, long story short, these individuals were following motherfuckers around, collecting intel on American citizens that have not been classified as terrorists.
Wow.
So the classification they designated these individuals to these agents were unknown terrorists. You're following an unknown terrorist because they had no evidence or proof to classify them as terrorists. So they had our boys and girls, our marshals.
Yeah.
They took them away from their primary job to protect the skies, especially during the time when people were swinging left and right on planes because of masks.
All the fucking time, yeah.
Because of COVID mask restrictions, and next thing you know, you had freaking goddamn stewardess acting like agents and kicking people out just for fucking looking at them and all this complete abuse of power.
Right.
During this time, they took all the agents to follow January 6th protesters and
who did nothing.
Who did absolutely nothing.
And then they shot that Air Force chick in the fucking neck.
Yeah.
Killed her dead as fried chicken.
So that's the thing. So, a lot of things are coming in light, brother.
Dude.
This government has completely done a 180, has turned its back on its constitutional obligations.
And its people.
And its citizens and its people. The border is unsecure.
We got what?
Absolutely unsecure.
Close to 2 million now? 2 million
We're getting individuals from all over the country, not just South America. All over the world. Sorry.
That's all right. I love you.
Not just South America. A lot of military-aged males.
71%. 71% of the undocumented migrants, military-aged males. However, I got to tell you that gun purchases are up significantly. Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that. I actually saw that on the
because
BBC.
crime is up significantly. So, and we're getting back to I think
800% in fucking city here.
So the numbers we're looking at are staggering.
Yeah.
It's crazy to sit back and look at this and say, well, this is a natural progression. No, it's not.
No, it ain't.
This is an initiative. So I feel like this is an initiative to create dissent amongst our citizenship. And chaos. So that way, out of nowhere, we can't live. Inflation is just out of control to the point where there's things that are over 100, 200% of what they used to cost. Crime is up because people are so desperate and destitute. Laws are being changed to accommodate these criminals,
Right.
to allow them to continue this behavior and not rectify it.
Right.
You
mean rectum fire? What?
rectum fire it.
Rectum damn near killed him. Go ahead.
Rectum fire.
No, those are called buckwheats, right? When you put a low caliber weapon up somebody's ass and shoot them twice.
Oh, that's a name for
that's
that?
a buckwheat, yeah.
Jesus.
No, it's a fucking assassination thing. I read that somewhere.
Who are you?
Short, fat, and ugly. That's who. No, it's fucking economic destabilization, right? That's exactly what happens. You flood the country with undocumented every goddamn thing. Yeah. They put a strain on fucking everything, causes inflation to go up. The people that are working get tired of working, so they can't have jobs. They can't produce anything. It's a tactic. It's asymmetrical warfare. They're just using it on a fucking giant scale.
And what would be the long game? What do you suppose is the long game?
Well, the long game is we're going to see what happens in 2024, because if there's another stolen election, there will be civil war. There will be. Because people are just fucking sick of it. They fucking got the numbers. They have completely blacklisted too many people. Too many people went away. What's that shit called that you fucking vote on? Too many ballots showed up out of fucking nowhere.
Mail-in ballots.
All that shit. And they found all those holes in that electronic voting.
Yeah, there's
system.
back doors.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, back doors.
Over and over and over again, it's been proven, right? But shut up, just look over here. We'll keep another war, another fire, another misdirection. It's a fucking magician's trick. And it's just to keep the population dumbed down and under control.
And begging for some sort
or any
of
goddamn
relief.
Thing. Yeah.
And so that leads me to the end game, which I believe is this one
New
world government,
order,
this new world order under the UN, World Economic Forum.
Because you can't protect yourself.
Exactly.
You can't do anything yourself.
And also,
right?
I mean, we are the majority. We are the popular opinion.
Yes, we are.
Despite what media might have you feel and see, we are
Media's
the growing voice and the most popular and the most...
Right, started television, right?
Yes. Ooh, television. I
That's
like
right.
that.
That's right. It's been controlled
Broke
from the
it
very
down,
beginning.
brother.
Bam, bichacho.
You broke it down.
So I say that to say this. There's whoever is on the other side still, you're very few.
Right.
And you're not as capable as the side that is the majority.
Right.
Because the side that is the majority is the side that takes their oath seriously, the sides that put their lives on the line, the side that believes in society, and each one has a role to play in society, believes in the rights of every individual, doesn't matter what color skin, what creed, all right, what your sexual preference is, despite what they will have you think. We want everyone to live in peace and follow their American dream of the pursuit of happiness. That's it. That's what we want. But who they're going to get to fill in your ranks? The UN.
Well,
and some weirdos from abroad.
Dude, these fucking blue helmets can't find your ass with both hands.
Check this out. Speaking of those blue helmets, this is a post from Tim Kennedy. I want to leave it here.
Right.
Check this out.
Drop that bitch.
So this is the UN Peacekeeper's helmet. And it's level 3 ballistic, so it's going to stop most pistol rounds and even like some rounds like a 55 grain 5.56, but won't stop any military rounds or most American hunting rounds. So to the tens if not hundreds of million rifle owners that are out there, if you have like 175 grain 308 7.62 by 5.1 or like the M855, any of those will zip right through it. So all of you with American hunting rifles, it's just really great information to have.
Just so you know.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks.
It's just information.
Thanks,
this is just information.
Dude.
What are we talking about here?
I don't know.
We just sending out information, that's all.
Right, and also now would be a great time to let everybody know, hey, this shit's our fucking opinion, right?
Yes.
We're not fucking associated with anyone. Don't go fucking join a militia and get yourself in trouble. Don't think that you're fucking Jason Bourne and you're going to start doing crazy shit. Don't do it.
That being
Just
said,
don't fucking do it.
We highlighted all the ways in which this government, this rogue government, I want to say, is my opinion.
Right? Me too.
We already highlighted the ways this rogue government is infringing on your First Amendment and your privacy.
All of your fucking constitutional rights are under
your
attack.
phone calls, your text messages, your messages on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter.
Well, what about illegal search and seizure
on
and fucking
X.
wrongful prosecution, illegal imprisonment?
Yes.
Those fucking January 6 people did jack and shit.
And they're doing
fucking
25
locked
years.
up for fucking nothing.
Like the head of the Proud Boys. He's doing 20 years.
Dude, they can't even prove he's fucking associated with anything.
He wasn't even in the January 6th.
Dude.
He was still in Florida.
Nah, it's fucking not.
But he's doing 20 years for the insurrection. This is ridiculous.
And they're fucking using every three-letter agency as a Gestapo.
I say that to say this.
After the free press, after everyone.
I say that to say this. You might feel strongly about the topic that we're speaking about, but that doesn't, it's not a smart thing. It wouldn't be a smart thing to utilize the very platforms that these individuals are in complete power over to basically raise your hand and say, I don't like you.
Or anybody who looks like you.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, fuck.
You're like, hey,
over here.
I don't like you and I'm coming for you, baby. What do you think is going to happen?
The fucking black Suburbans are going to show up.
Bro, they're going to bring down the weight of all that corruption on your head.
And those guys ain't fucking playing. Anybody over 40 that's still working for them dudes has a bad fucking
So
attitude.
I suggest you take your ego out of this, meaning the necessity to be on a platform and garner that social attention to your cause and declare yourself an enemy of the state, of the now current state. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got to think, man. You ever heard the thing they say, what is it? Your intrusive thoughts, keep them inside?
Right.
Yeah, keep your intrusive thoughts in your head, dude.
Exactly.
I just want to say that because I see too many motherfuckers. I'm a veteran, and I'm rallying against bro. Sit down, bro.
Shut the fuck up, bro.
Sit down.
Decaf. Let's start with decaf.
Relax. This is like double Dutch, man.
Yeah.
This is like you just wait until that shit opens up and then you get in there and you do yeah. You know what I mean? But you don't announce nothing. You're stupid. Don't be dumb.
Exactly. And also, if any conversations that you may or may not need to have them in person, right?
Yeah.
Anything that has a fucking speaker, anything that has a speaker can be fucking energized and turned into a fucking recording device.
Yeah.
Anything that has a speaker, I'm just saying. I read that somewhere also. And
Alexa,
also,
everybody.
right, any fucking thing. And also, if you have an electronic car, right? One that fucking starts with a button, it can be turned off from anywhere. Yeah. One last thing, and then I'll be quiet. All your conversations, have them in person, right? Don't be talking to fucking anybody you don't know about shit, you dumb fucks. Don't fucking do it. That's it. I'm out.
So I'm going to leave you guys with our governor, New York State Governor Hochul.
What's he saying? Crazy
I'm directing the Director of Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services to develop media literacy tools for K through 12 in our public schools. This will teach students and even teachers to help understand how to spot conspiracy theories and misinformation, disinformation, and online hate. Start talking about what we're seeing out there. Give the teachers the tools they need to help these conversations in school. And by teaching younger New Yorkers about how to discern between digital fact and digital fiction,
Shut up, bitch.
we can better inoculate them.
Inoculate, good word. Good
on the
word.
spread of it.
Heart failure's
And
up
help prepare them
973
for a very
fucking
fast-moving and often confusing world.
Shut up. God
Prepare
damn
them,
it.
That's a warning. Prepare them for a
Dude.
very fast-moving and
Brainwash
often
them.
confusing world. Let's give the teachers the tools, a.k.a. authority, to
control
brainwash
our kids. That's exactly
your
right.
children.
This is what you will think, little Johnny.
And
little
turn
Terrell.
them,
Yeah.
And turn them into a gender-fluid species.
God bless it.
Come on, what are we doing here? Just
It's
think.
easy to be hard. It's hard to be smart. Be
like
fucking smart, you fucks. Come on.
I'm gonna end it on that note. That was some wisdom.
I've been called a lot of things, but never wise.
Bullshit.
All right, we're out. You filthy fucking
meat sack.
He said it, not me. Meat
Damn
sack. Meat sack and beanbag. That's a testicle reference. No, it's three now. Bump, bump, bump. Exactly. With numb fingers, I can't even do that.
Booyaka.
Yeah, what he said.